point. And that, I'm going to put a line, curving to the dead center. Now again here, really quite wide, line curving to the center. Now I'm going to put a third one, and again this one sits on top, this one goes underneath, and so is this one going to go underneath. So nice and wide. And that, I always recommend trying to keep these about the same sort of, you know, size. If not, just maybe make the middle one a bit bigger and the outside one's a bit smaller. And then I'm going to put, say, one over here. That's one place I usually like to put on the other side. Out wide, in a little bit, out wide, in a little bit. Line down the centre. Out wide. Line down the centre. And now I'm going to show you quickly how to do some of these vines. These vines are perfect, you know, for any old school thing. They really work on anything. You can do, like, you know, sort of dead girl's face, or, you know, old skull, just like around the outsides, and just adds that little bit of filler, which just takes away that plain background and makes it a bit more interesting. This one's like a very simple one, but it's really effective. It's one of my favourite ones of doing. So we're going to start off here, get a line, curl it, squiggle it any real shape you want to, but try and keep it a fairly simple kind of curve. If you make it too crazy, it just doesn't really work too much. Now here, see that little sort of triangular leaf shape? Do that, and do like a smaller one on the edge of it. Then here, do one, but this time meet up around the point rather than here sort of leaving on the edge. And then say do like a smaller one, and then randomize it, doing these kind of combinations all the way up to here. The top one, you're going to want to do this. One like that, where it comes to, like, you know, the tip of it. So the other ones on this side and that side kind of make up, you know, the shape. And that kind of finishes it off to a point. So yeah, I'll speed through this bit. There we go. So you got that side, that side. And back to the leaves. You can do these bits differently, but for this style, I know I said in the last video, you know, about fine line doesn't really work, but fine line can work for these bits. So I'm not going to go serious fine line, just a bit of a smaller tip. This one's a 0.5. This one's a 0.5. That was a 0.8 sort of one. Sometimes line difference can make a big difference, and especially when I try to show off depth. Like, a lot of time you can do like the outline a bit thicker, you know, some inline bits a bit thinner. But for this one, you're going to do really close, simple lines, and that. This one might be a bit hard for some people, trying to get the lines dead against each other. But you'll see I'll do this first bit. See, I'm just repeating the lines again and again. Keeping the same distance, but trying to get a little bit of a curve to show the leaf shape. You see? Then do the same thing the other side and try to connect up to the other lines you've done. Right, there you go, that's the leaves done. Right, part 2, colouring. Just move some of the stuff out of the way. Black, there's me grey. Grey. Right. Like last time, I'm going to use tray markers. And that, what I'm going to do first, I'm going to do the black shading. and the grey shading first before I do the colour. I always find it kind of helps. That's a blender. That one. I'm losing my pens. Right. Shading again, very simple for this shading. And that, what we're going to do, whenever we do shading, if it's like an overlap bit, you see like here, we're going to leave a little white edge along this line and along here. And that, we're going to leave certain little highlights on these inner bits. I'm going to shade up close to the under bits. So, if I show you. So we go here. Shade out. Here. Shade out. And with these kind of pens, like Trio pens or markers, generally you sort of want to start off putting a light one in, then put the darker shade, then go back to the lighter shade to smooth it out. I find that's the easiest way to use these. And that, you can use water paints as well. Water paints are brilliant for this. You know, I use them a lot, but for this I'm just going to use markers. And that, and just bring up the darker shade. Put in a bit of black. And like I said before, and you go back to the other colour. So here I'm going to work out that black so that black smooths. Then come in with a light again. Go over the top. You probably see that creates kind of like a 3D-ness to it. That's what you want with the advanced ones. Now again, go start off with the grey this time. Now you see, because the leaf bit goes over, like I said in the last one, underneath, like big dark shadow. Come to a point where the overlap ends. Start thin, go thick. Pin this line, flick, flick, flick. There. Flick, flick, flick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put more black on this side than I'm on this side, so the shade kind of goes like that. And then in these little gaps here, these little corner bits, you want to just kind of flick this shading out. See, like that on this side. No, on that side. Put a little bit of black right in the corner. Like I said, if you don't want to do this, you could have this sort of circled over and then just black it out, which is always a cool way to do it. But this one, because I'm showing you something different, we're doing it this way. Here we go. There. Right. Now I'm just going to do the same, except I'll quickly show you some highlight points I'm going to leave out. I'm going to leave a circle there. I'll leave a little circle there. Going to leave a little section here. Little section there. And let me see. Yeah. Little circle there. Square there. Those bits are going to be highlights. Those bits I'm not going to touch, as you see. Now I'm just going to fast forward this using the same techniques I just showed you on all these bits. There we have the basic black and grey shading. Quite simple, like I said, each time, just leaving that little white highlight around the edges, on the inside bits, shading up to the line. Around there, darker, more on this side than I've done on this side. Yeah. Very simple. Now what we're going to do, gonna colour in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to colour solid, except for all the little highlight bits. So you see the little circles I told you about, the little sort of rectangles in there. And I'm going to colour in all those bits except for them and the outside highlights. And this little line I'm going to leave down the centre here. See that little line bit there? All the rest except for these leaf bits here, you know, the overturns, them I'm going to do a different colour. And now, but again, I'm going to leave a little white line just around the edge when I do it. So I'll fast forward because it's literally just bulk colouring. And that, but I'll give you a tip: when you're going over these sort of, you know, the black, grey and shading, if it still doesn't look quite smooth, just go over a bit more with a marker. Or now, if you're using water paint, just keep sort of, you know, putting it a bit thick, and that, and just be easy with it. And that. So here goes. That's the basic red. I'm going to colour in these overturn bits pink. Like I said, just leaving that little gap on the edge. Here goes. There you have the basic colouring. And that, the vine bits, I just put like dark shading in the centre, flicking outwards, and then just colour that solid in green. And that with the leaves, just left that little edge and left a little sort of gap in the middle. So you see you got the white bits. Simple. Right. Now the reason I left these bits is the highlights. And at this time we're not going to leave them white, we're going to colour them in. What we're going to do, we're going to have one colour that kind of comes from this direction, and the other coming from this direction. Now for this I'm going to use, what am I going to use? Say yellow. Yeah, it's the yellow and a blue. Give me a nice blue. There we go. Yellow and a blue. I'm going to have yellow coming this side, blue coming this side. When I say that, basically what I mean is, whenever you see the highlight on this side, we paint it yellow. See? Here, yellow, yellow, yellow. The top of yellow. Highlight, highlight. Now kind of yellow more coming from this direction, I guess, and more blue more that one, so you kind of got the under bits. But yeah, so yellow flicking down there. Across there. It doesn't matter if you overlap a little bit into the other colours. Sometimes that kind of helps it kind of look more like it's blending. And that, the more tone sometimes the better. Hey people, sorry, the last camera stopped on the last couple of minutes. Yeah, basically like you saw me doing just a second ago, I was putting the yellow in this side, then I put that baby blue on that side. So you see, whenever the shading was going in that direction, on this edge, that edge, around there, I put that baby blue in, just along that bit of leaf, that little bit. And then in the background, you see I put this like blue bit, just leaving like a little gap, and all the corners just fading out that blue. And that just helps bring the picture out a little bit. But yeah, as you can see, that's where doing like a nice bit of rose. And now these ones, I said, you can do hundreds of ways just by mixing up like the leaves, the centerpieces, the little detailing on these bits, how you fold them, how thick they are, how you do the petals, you know, what shape, whether you want like, you know, a nice edge, the viney bits you can put in. I mean, with these combinations, you could make, like I said, you know, hundreds of thousands of different types. And that. So, yeah, like I say, that's that type, you know, and pretty much the same way of doing that was the way I done that one. And that, except, see, like, different leaves, you know, a different bottom bit. I had the leaves going, the petals going there, rather than having the centre one. And that I changed up the side, made these a bit darker. You know, these little things can make something so different. Even though technically it's all the same, few differences, bang, completely different rose. And that you can change up the colours. You know, you could have this bit orange rather than purple. You could have, instead of having that colour, you could have a different colour. And that could show another technique. If you want to do the leaves, you know, another way of doing them, you could do, when you get this bit at the bottom, you know, you can shade this bit in grey, so there's like a big sort of thick line around there, kind of grey rather than doing a highlight. And do like another semicircle going around it, but like a black circle, connecting up to that bit where I haven't highlight in. You know, and if you was to do that around for these, that look pretty cool. And that, the centerpiece, you know, you could have like, you know, the outside here, rather than doing this highlight here, you could do that highlight reds, and you could black this bit out. So you could go like that. You know, and you could do that in these gaps, you know, which give a really cool effect with, like, you know, light leaves running outside. You know, just little simple things like that. You can just so easy change up any rose you want, how you want it. You know, have it longer, have it wider, have, you know, more leaves running outside. You know, but yeah, I hope that's been helpful to you. And that, if you like it, you know, click on the like, please. And yeah, if you want to subscribe to me, and that, feel free to. And if there's anything else you'd like me to draw, you know, just drop me a message, let me know what. You know, I'm probably thinking either doing like, say, sort of koi fish, dragon, or a snake or something next. And that maybe like some skulls, you know, Day of the Dead stuff, you know, anchors, pin-ups, you know, all these things will be coming along at some point. And that, and also, hopefully, sometime within probably the next year or so, you know, I'm going to have a book out, you know, we'll be, ain't a complete title yet, but, you know, we'll be like The Broken Puppet's Large Tattoo Designs or something. We'll have hundreds of different designs in. And that, so, yeah, keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye on this space. And, yeah, hope you liked it. Keep around for the next one. And let me know what you want to see.